In this first video, I want to show you how I would like for you to find the images to use for this exercise. We're going to make a flying pig. Um, I've I've made one here, or I actually duplicated it a couple of times, so I made three, but they're all the same. They're all the same thing. We're Since this is just an exercise, it's not an actual assignment. It's okay to use images off of the internet. We're going to go ahead and allow fair use laws to apply to this assignment. We don't have to use original photographs. Most of what we do in the Photoshop portion of this class will be based on original photography, and we'll go into reasons for that more later on. But for exercises, this is an educational thing, and so the fair use laws would apply, and originality is not such a concern with me, as you're really just learning how to use some tools. So you need three things. You need a pig, you need wings, which you've already selected one way in Illustrator. You're going to be doing them a different way in Photoshop. And you need a sky. Okay. The trick here is to get the highest resolution images that you can. There's a couple of things we're looking for. That you need to have the maximum amount of pixels. I'm going to zoom in on this so that you can see how many. I'm zoomed in at 100% right here, and I'm going to zoom way in. I have to be zoomed in quite 400, 500. Yeah, I have to be zoomed in at 600% before it breaks down into actually, showing me a box around each little individual pixel. The pixels are pretty small, and that's what we're looking for. None of these projects are going to work very well in Photoshop if you get low resolution images, and we're going to go into exactly what that means. Another thing that you need for your pig to work is you need the whole pig. You can't have any part of the pig cut off by the edge of the paper or the edge of the frame, an overlapping object. Most importantly, since the pig is going to be floating in the sky, you're going to be able to see its feet. So many of the pig pictures you see, they're going to be standing in grass, and those will not work because there's going to be grass covering their hooves up. And so you're going to need to look for a picture of a pig that actually you can see their feet. And that's kind of why I went with a potbelly pig, because so many people use them as pets. That I thought I would be more likely to find one standing in somebody's living room or something. Not to mention that I got tired of looking through the pig pictures and finding these horrible images of animals being mistreated in, these horrible corporate pig farms that were kind of starting to upset me a little bit. Plus, they're just really cute. And then finally, you'll need something that will be easy to separate from its background, and I will show you what I mean by that when we get into Google Images. So I've already opened up Google Images here, and let me show you the kind of thing I'm looking for. So you could enter pig if you wanted. And you're gonna get, if you just enter pig, you're probably, the first thing you're gonna get is a lot of stuff like this. I don't want you using one of these little pink pigs that's already up against a white background. You're not going to learn anything if somebody else has already extracted the pig from the background. I want you to have to actually do the extracting yourself, okay? But I don't want something that's going to be so difficult to extract that you have a really hard time getting the Photoshop extraction tools to do that for you. So I would want you to find a pig that contrasts with its background, you know, that has a clearly defined edge. Um, for example, this one would not be a good idea because um, the pig and the dirt that he's standing in are close to the same color, and Photoshop is going to have difficulty reading where this line is, okay? It might not have such a difficult time up here, but you know, once we get down into these shadow areas, you're going to run into problems. Not only to mention that the pig's feet are covered up by the mud, so that would not work. So this would not be a good one either. You know, most of these aren't good because, you know, either they're cropped off at the top, or their feet are covered, or as cute as they are, if you want to use a picture of a wild boar or javelina or whatever you want, that's fine. Be as creative with this as you like, but the image quality is important as well. I'm going to go ahead and change my search before I get any farther along to potbelly pig, just because you don't have to do this, of course, but just because I had better luck finding pigs that I could see their feet, you know, that I could see fur defined on their back, and that's another thing that I'm looking for. Next thing I want to do before I start picking anything out is let's go into settings here. Wait, no, I'm sorry, tools. Let's go into tools here, and let's restrict the size on our search to say, let's say larger than 1024 by 768. Actually, this would probably be a better size, but yeah, let's see what we can find if we go with this size right here. That's a pretty good pixel size right there, 1600 by 1200. That guarantees us, you know, a pretty good pixel size. Of course, it's going to reduce the number of options that we have, but there's still plenty of things to choose from, and this means that we're going to, you know, have plenty of high resolution images. And when you hover over the picture, you know, you can see the pixel size shows up in the bottom, so you can see, you know, 1920 by, you know, 1080, something like that. You need to think about what angle you're viewing the pig from. You know, if the pig is floating around in the sky and you're looking down on it like this one, you know, that's going to kind of mean, oh, okay, well, you, the viewer, are also up in the sky, which is fine. You know, I'm just kind of saying, this one probably would not be too hard to work with. There's a shadow right here that's going to give you problems, and his tail's cut off, but those are easy enough to fix in Photoshop. I think this might be the one. This might be the one I went with. This one would be okay. One of the reasons that I like this one is that, whoops, okay, no, I don't want to go into that. I just wanted to view the image. Sorry about that. Okay, there's a number of reasons that this is a good one. There is a tool in Photoshop that allows you to make selections around hair or fur, and I want you to get a chance to try that. And so this pig is good for that, okay? I'd like you to try to find a pig that has at least some clearly defined fur, you know, bristly hair, soft hair, whatever, along part of it, okay? His feet are all showing. You know, for the most part, he's clearly defined. You know, I may run into a little bit of, there's a little bit of similarity between the color of his feet and the color of the dirt here, but the line between the line that is the edge of his foot, there's a nice line, nice clean line going, I guess it's a her, sorry, going all along the edge of her body. is very, very easy to see. And, you know, if you can't see it, Photoshop can't see it. So if you're trying to cut something out, you know, let's think about we're using Photoshop to, like a pair of scissors or an X-Acto knife. If you can't see where that line is, if you can't see where that edge is, you're going to have to decide where it is yourself, and then essentially you're drawing. Are your drawing skills good enough to make those decisions? It's probably going to show if you're not. Okay, so let's see. So, you know, something like that would be good. I'll go ahead and grab this one. I had already chosen another pig, but I do like this one, so maybe I can use him for another demo. Let's see, I was just going to drag and drop him onto my desktop. It's usually what I prefer to do. There he is. I see him over there. Okay, same thing, you're going to need a sky and a pair of wings. Now, why don't we, the sky I think is going to be pretty easy. I don't need to demonstrate on that, but the wings I think we need to talk about, because we need to get a pair of wings that are appropriate to the angle that this pig is looking. We've got, in this particular case, a pig that is flying kind of parallel to the picture plane. He's not coming towards me, he's not above me, he's not below me. So I need to find a bird that's also kind of pointed. He doesn't have to be facing this way, he can be facing the other way, that's fine, because I can flip him, no problem, but he can't be at a completely different angle. It's going to be very difficult. So let's go change our search now to, let's see. I guess we could just enter flying bird again. Isn't that what we entered on the last search? And let's do the same thing. Yeah, larger than 2 megapixels, good. We're in good shape already on that. This one would probably be okay. The bird's facing a different direction, but let's see. I'm going to actually open this pig up in Photoshop so I can take a look at him from time to time. See, this pig that I chose, I think it might be from that same series. This pig that I chose, he's actually pointed towards me a little bit more. No, it is a different pig, but you know, see how this first one I used, he's rotated towards me a little bit, so I had to find a bird that was coming towards me somewhat, and I will show you that bird in another video. But this one, I'm going to have to look for a bird that's just kind of more, you know, flying, you know, parallel to me, you know, kind of turned directly to the side. And I'm thinking, well, this bird, he's facing a different way. That is no big deal. This one might be pretty good. The wings are certainly clearly defined. And also it's such a shallow depth of field. This one's going to be a piece of cake to cut out from the background. You know, yeah, I could probably stand to have the resolution a little bit higher, but I'm pretty happy with this one. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and grab it. You know, this is, wow, that is a nice close-up picture there. Did I get it? Okay. And let me just point out a couple of other things that I noticed on these pictures. I was looking here. Something like this might have been good for that other pig that I used, right? Because this guy, see how he's facing towards me? Well, this guy might have been a good choice, you know, for him. So, you know, make this easy on yourself. Don't put yourself in a situation where you have to struggle anymore than you need to. This, remember, is an exercise. We want to get through this as quickly as we can, just so we can learn how to use the tools so that we can get on to the next project. Okay, so please keep in mind that the higher your resolution, the more contrast there is between the subject and the background. The clearer, the cleaner the edge, the better off you're going to be. And be mindful of, do the wings on your bird more or less sync with the wings on your pig? Okay, so I'm going to let you pick out your sky on your own. Depends on what kind of mood you want. I guess I went with kind of a stormy sky. Um, I don't really care what you do, but I would say maybe kind of keep it in sync size wise, with what you chose for your pig or your bird. Don't get something that's real low resolution. Go ahead and kind of stay in that same range. Close to, have one of the say one of your edges should be at least 2,000 pixels is what I would say on that.